Hello, and welcome back to Office Optimism with me, Sharala. Today, I want to speak to you not just as someone who talks about purpose and performance, but as someone who feels it too. The weight, the uncertainty, and the stop and think moments. Lately, I found myself pausing in the middle of the day and thinking, if this much is happening in the day to day, what about when everything shifts over time? The news, the crisis that families are facing, and the people showing up to work even when they're not sure if a paycheck is coming. It all feels so very heavy. If you are leading others, a team, a department, even your family at home, let me say this. You are not exempt from the weight, and that's okay. Leadership doesn't mean being unshaken. Leadership means showing up anyway. So today, we're going to talk about how to lead with hope when the world feels heavy. Not by pretending that everything is fine, but by choosing to become a steady light in the midst of the storm. Before we dive in, there is a statistic that I would like to share. The 2025 DDI Global Leadership Forecast found that 71% of leaders reported a significant increase in stress since stepping into their roles. That means nearly 3/4 of our leaders are carrying more than they bargained for. So if you feel a strain, you're in good company. You are human. And if you're wondering whether optimism still has a seat at the table, I'd say more than ever. So let's get into it. First, we are going to start by talking about what heavy seasons reveal. What happens when everything that we took for granted starts to wobble? Leadership is revealed. Culture cracks show up. The tone that we set becomes more important than the task that we assign. Let's think for a moment about what current times are showing us. Teams are dealing with deferred pay, shifting roles, and remote and hybrid fatigue. Families are juggling food insecurity, uncertain incomes, and emotional capacity. And leaders are expected to have answers when none seem to exist. And the data backs this up. According to a recent survey by the Society for Human Resource Management, 31% of U.S. workers say that their job causes frequent stress, and among the drivers are heavy workloads and poor leadership. So what does this reveal about leadership? First, we can't push through alone. The world's weight is collective. Second, leadership doesn't demand perfection. It demands presence. And third, the tone you bring in the small moments matter. Because when big things fail us, the small things become everything. So if you are leading and feeling it, I see you. Let's move in to how we lead with hope. Next, we're going to talk about the anatomy of hopeful leadership. Hopeful leadership is not wishful thinking. It's not putting a smiley face sticker on a deep wound. It is grounded. It is a courageous stance. Let's break it down into 4 actionable parts. 1. Presence over perfection. You might not have every answer, and that's okay. What matters most is your willingness to be in the room. A leader once said, "I don't need to lead when I feel invincible. I need to lead when I feel human." 2. Transparency builds trust. The research on crisis, for example, a study of over 500 employees during the pandemic, shows that when leaders offered support grounded in autonomy, communication, personal resources, and safety. Employees reported less burnout and fewer physical symptoms. So, say things like, here's what I know, here's what I don't yet know, and here's how we'll figure it out together. 3, grounded optimism. Optimism that ignores reality is fragile, but optimism rooted in honesty, in we know that this is hard, is resilient. For example, the DDI research found that burned out leaders were 34% less likely to rate their own effectiveness highly and were less engaged overall. This tells us that your emotional state as a leader matters. It ripples fast. 4, model self-care. When you say, we care about people, your actions must reflect that. As a leader, your tone, your pace, your rest, they all need to send signals. If you're always on, people assume that they must be too. Leadership means giving yourself permission to step away, recharge, reflect, so others can too. Pause for a moment. What in your pace is telling your team? What is your tone saying, even when you are quiet? These 4 pillars, presence, transparency, grounded optimism, and self-care, form the anatomy of hopeful leadership. Now let's bring this talk into leading the everyday. Because leadership isn't just for the office. We all lead in some capacity, as a manager, as a mentor, as a teammate, or even as a parent. Let's walk through a few everyday scenarios. Maybe it's a team lead sending an honest message. I see the strain, we're all feeling it. My ask is let's pace ourselves. Or maybe it's a parent at home. Work's unstable right now, but dinner is still on. We'll talk tonight. Or maybe it's just a colleague noticing a peer and saying, hey, how are you really doing? And here are 4 practical moves that you can use starting today. 1, micro moments of meaning. Pause and celebrate one small accomplishment. Send a thank you email and recognize someone's effort. 2, control what you can. You may not be able to fix everything, but you can control your tone, your availability, and your empathy. 3, community as comfort. Encourage check-ins, safe spaces, shared laughter. When the world feels heavy, the burden shared is lighter. 4, reflect and reset. Every day ask, what is one thing that I'm grateful for despite this chaos? It doesn't erase the crisis, it roots you in hope. And here is where I want to add something important. Don't forget joy. Joy isn't ignoring what's wrong. It's reminding ourselves that there is still something right. So now let's get to our joyful point. Slip moments of joy into your leadership rhythm. Share a funny meme in the team chat, or celebrate something small and random, like, hey, we actually survived Monday. Or play a feel-good song to start a meeting. These small sparks don't waste time, they refuel it. Because when leaders laugh, they create room for joy. They remind their teams that we are all still human, still connected, and still capable of light, even here. The ripple effect? You don't just lead task, you lead tone, you lead hope, and you lead joy. The quiet, defiant kind that helps us all keep going. So now let's go to our Office Optimism focal point. And this time it is about hope as a leadership legacy. If you are leading something right now, a team, a family, or even just yourself, know this: when the world feels heavy, your calm, your consistency, your kindness, those are all acts of leadership. Hope isn't passive. It isn't optional. It is active. Hope is showing up. Hope is speaking the truth. Hope is choosing the next right step, even when the map is missing. One final data point as we wrap. Manager engagement has fallen to just 27% in a recent research, with 1 year drop noted in the source of this study. That tells us that people that we expect to lead confidently are themselves disconnected. So when you choose to connect, you become more than a leader. You become a lifeline. Wherever you lead, in the boardroom or in your own living room, keep leading with hope, because hope is not naive. It is courageous and it is contagious. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and share with someone that you believe could use a little brightness in their day. As always, keep shining. Bye-bye.